All too often, with every crisis comes opportunities for crooks, and that's certainly the case during this pandemic. Americans are being cheated out of millions of dollars, as I learned when I talked earlier with the Connecticut Attorney General William Tong. Mr. Attorney General, thank you so much for joining us. These scammers, they can't help themselves, it seems, even during a pandemic.
No, they can't. This gives them real opportunity. As you know, scamming has become big business. It's cheap, it's easy. They can do it from places not in Connecticut, not in the United States, and many of us are at risk.
And what can you do about it if they're overseas?
So the biggest thing we can do is work with our federal partners to stop them when they try to scam us, but also really just to educate people over and over again, to hammer home the message that if you get a phone call, you get a text message, you get an email offering you something that's too good to be true, offering you something you've from someone you've never heard from before, be careful. Be careful. Know what you know, which is that nobody's going to call you on the phone and ask you for your social security number or your credit card information. They're definitely not going to call you and ask you to send them gift cards. And just be careful.
We have a couple of the phone calls that's been recorded by you and by the federal authorities. Let's listen to a couple of them, starting with this one, where they say your Social Security benefits have been suspended.
This is a call from the Social Security Administration. During these difficult times of the coronavirus, we regret to inform you that we have got an order to suspend your socials immediately within 24 hours due to suspicious and fraudulent activities found on your socials. We are contacting you as this case is critical and needs your urgent attention.
Yeah. I mean, people right now, given that many people have either lost their jobs or working reduced hours, or their small businesses are at risk or shut down permanently or temporarily, people are really feeling insecure in terms of their wallets and pocketbooks, and financially people are at risk. And so any kind of scam that focuses on taking advantage of you when you're afraid of what the financial future is for you and your family, those are particularly dangerous right now.
And will the Social Security Administration call you and say your benefits have been suspended?
No, they won't. The IRS isn't going to call you and tell you that unless you pay right now several $1,000s, you're going to go to jail. None of that is going to happen. And Brian, I think people know that. But the trouble is when you get a phone call and you pick up a landline or even your cell phone, or you get an email and it looks legit, it sounds legit, or if they just catch you at a weak moment, that's why it's scary. Good, smart, capable people get scammed all the time.
Here's one where they say we've got free delivery to you of sanitizers and all sorts of things you need at your home.
Dear customer, due to coronavirus outbreak, we deliver a wide range of sanitizers, hand wash, toilet papers, and face masks at your doorstep to safeguard you and your family from coronavirus. No need to visit stores. Get delivery in 24 hours. To order, press 1. For more knowledge and safety tips about coronavirus, press 2.
At the end, they say press 1 if you want it, press 2 if you don't. What's the scam?
Press 1 and press 2 is their gateway to get you on the phone with a live person. And that opens the door to any kind of fast talk about hand sanitizer, masks, cures, access to quick testing. And then, as you may have heard, there's a variety of different scams related to stimulus checks. So by pressing 1 or 2 on any of these calls, that generally puts you in touch with a live person. And it also confirms for the scammer, there's somebody there, there's a mark there, and we should work on them.
And here's one where they say, do you want a free testing kit?
Response Act has made coronavirus testing more accessible immediately. If you want to receive a free testing kit delivered overnight to your home, press 1. If you do not want your free testing, press 2.
So, and again, they say press 1 or if you want it, press 2 if you don't. There's no free testing kit, is there?
There's no free testing kit. There's no cure. There's no vaccine yet. There's no get a test expedited. There's none of that. The best way to get tested is through your doctor, through your local hospital or public health officials. Don't trust any offers to test you quickly, give you a different kind of test that's more effective, give you access to cures that nobody else has access to. Again, people know this, and they understand that there's scammers out there. The trouble is, you catch someone when they're not in a great place, and they're worried about their family members, or someone's gotten sick, or they're desperate for information or help. That's when they can get taken advantage of.
How are these scammers getting the phone numbers they use to call and make their pitch?
Oh, a variety of ways. Many of them are cold calling. Many of them canvass publicly available information and data, and many of them have access to big data. So all of us know that when we log into our computers now, that big data enables major retailers and organizations, advocacy organizations, to reach out to us. They know we're searching. For example, if you look, I like to fish. So if you're a Field and Stream subscriber, for example, somebody knows that you like to fish, and so they'll send you a bunch of offers around fishing. If you're into current events, or I'm a Democrat, and I read articles and sign up for websites or organizations that tend to be aligned with my point of view and my political affiliation. Big data enables other people to access that information and target you. So if they have access to that kind of data, they can target you. They might know that you, for example, if you're over 65 and you have 4 grandchildren, they might be able to figure that out. If they see that you're a mom and you're always looking online for information related to healthcare and children's healthcare, they can target you on that basis.
Here's a call that targets people with student loan debt, saying that we'll take care of the waiving of the student loan payments.
Important message regarding the effects of the coronavirus outbreak on your student loans. As you may have already heard, President Trump invoked his power as commander-in-chief by declaring a national emergency due to the widespread impacts of COVID-19. New measures will include waiving interest on your federal student loans until further notice. For more information on how these new measures will impact your future payment obligations, call us back today.
Are you going to get a cold call like that from the government about getting rid of your student loan payments?
No, you're not going to get a cold call about waiving your student loan payments. Again, that's in the too good to be true category, right? And the government doesn't have the resources to call each and every person to offer to give them money back. So again, I say that only to emphasize that we know these things, and we just need to, as I say to people in Connecticut, know what you know. And if you get a phone call or an email or a text message, take a deep breath. Another scam we haven't talked about are charities. People are really concerned about people in their community and charitable contributions, and they want to give. They want to be helpful in this day and age. But if someone calls you and asks you for money on the phone, don't give it out right away. Take a deep breath. Check with your local consumer protection department or your attorney general's office and make sure that they're a legit charity and you should give money to them.
In addition to the scams that come in by phone, you're also investigating other bigger frauds and bigger crimes, right?
Sure. So we have a lot of work trying to protect people on online platforms. You have major scammer activity going on the major online marketplaces like Amazon and eBay and other places. We're looking at the way people are treated by major travel companies, hotels, airlines, cruise ship companies, and making sure that if people have a right to cancel their trips or get some kind of relief or refund, that they have access to that and they're not being abused. Of course, the work of my office focused on even bigger scams and frauds like the generic drug price fixing case that I'm leading on behalf of 51 states and territories. That work continues as well.
So there's a lot of money to be made by the scammers. And it's not just, we think sometimes just the elderly who fall victim to this, is it?
No, it happens to everybody. It happened to my mom, I'm sorry to say. And she's a pretty savvy immigrant businesswoman. You wouldn't want to mess with my mom. But, they caught her on a bad day. And she was swindled out of several $1,000s related to the renting of an apartment that she rents to people. So everybody is at risk. Everybody can be a target. And again, we need to be careful and know that nobody is going to call you who's legitimate and ask you for money on the spot, credit card number. No one's going to call you and ask you to send them gift cards, and no one's going to offer you something that is not generally and widely available to everybody else. So again, some get tested faster scheme, or get rich quick scheme, or get your stimulus check quicker. Any of those scams are recognizable, because it's just not believable that you would have access to this and nobody else would, and you would get it through a random phone call.
And is there a place somewhere that our viewers can go online to see if they're being dealt with by scammers?
Sure. You can always go wherever you're listening from, or watching from. You can go to your local Department of Consumer Protection. Usually that's a state agency, or the office of your Attorney General. In Connecticut, they should go to our Department of Consumer Protection website, or to my website, ct.gov/AG. It's the same in other states, and we're here to help.
Attorney General William Tong, thank you so much for your time and for your advice.
Thank you, Brian. Really appreciate it.